If you have autism, there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. The only thing is wrong is the world. Having autism, and I believe ADHD too, I have both, makes you resistant. Makes you resistant to conditioning and acting the same as everyone else, because you ask the questions of, well, why? Why are people like this? Why do I need to pretend I'm happy when I'm not? Why do I have to kiss the arse of someone who is an arsehole? Having autism and ADHD gives you the blessings to see past these things. You are not difficult. You are not lacking anything. You instead have a brain that understands what it wants and what it needs, and it can see what is wrong with the world. It's the reason why it gets so dysregulated by so many things, because so many things are not how they should be. And you have a brain that is able to see past that, and wants to resist. And I know how exhausting it is. I can't say to you to carry on, because I know how much I struggle and I don't want to. But I'm still here. I think I will be tomorrow. It's important to remember, in the face of all this negativity, that there are still positives, and the positives being that you are blessed to have the brain that you do, and there are people out there who think like you and will understand you and will get you, and you will finally have a community. Unfortunately, I don't have much to say, as I am lucky to have people I know, but my advice would be is to avoid trying to do it online, because there's so many things about how things are online. They are very poor approximations of what it is like to actually know someone and be stood in a room with them. You could be lucky, you could find someone really good online, but just be cautious. Try in person. And yes, I know how incredibly difficult it is, I really do. I mean, I moved to a town and I only knew the person I lived with, but I got there in the end. Again, I was lucky, I was fortunate, I didn't have to follow some exhausting plan. But when you do meet like-minded people, the relief is honestly staggering. How better you will feel in that environment. You feel heard, and you can actually listen to what these people say and not just straight away just go, oh well, this is a load of fucking rehearsed bullshit. Do not let anyone tell you anything otherwise, that you are difficult or that you are disabled. You are only disabled in the terms of that you cannot fit into the society. That is what your disability is that you are incapable of turning yourself into a hive-minded slave, that you will not put up with the pain and agony it is. I would recommend anyone who isn't diagnosed to get diagnosed. I know how much of a nightmare it is, but I got my ADHD diagnosed extraordinarily fast, because I told my GP how at risk I was, and that if my suspected ADHD wasn't going to be treated, I was very concerned about my ability to keep myself from harm, or to stop myself from seeking dangerous forms of self-medication. That is what got them to hurry up. So that'd be my only advice, not telling anyone to do that, more so just sharing what worked for me, because I know how bad the waiting lists are here in the UK. But you want to get diagnosed, so it's easier, so you don't have to get a job. Because I'd say to anyone not to get a job, but having this, you can use it so you don't have to get a job, because because you shouldn't be working. You are not fit because you're not malleable. I feel sorry for these other people, but they respond to it because they're malleable. They are willing to agree, and they will push their own feelings aside and think of whether it's their company or society or morals or stuff, whereas you have the ability to see that it's all a mirage. It's bullshit. It's not true. You are, as far as I'm aware, you are alive and you will die, and the choice is to live this life how you want, and I'm not living my life that way. And I would tell anyone who is like me, these are the words I would say, honest to God. I can't pretend that I know anything. I'm merely sharing my account, but this is what I would say to someone if they were neurodivergent. This is the exact thing I would say to them, is don't put yourself through anything, because you shouldn't. No one should, not just neurodivergent people, but neurodivergent people especially, because we do not cope and we get very ill, and it upsets me to think about how many brilliant minds have already been lost, how many people who would have helped propose change or initiate it or would have come up with something brilliant for all of us, because they just couldn't cope, because this world is fucked. So save yourself. Realise that you are gifted. Realise, sad or not, you are not meant to fit in with like-minded people who are part of the hive mind. You are meant to fit in with people like you. And realise too that these labels are just merely a medical box from a medical establishment proven to be corrupt, but you can use it for your own gain. You can have an easier time excluding yourself than you should. But realise that these things aren't fixed, and you can still change who you are, you can still improve. You don't have to fit in any box. You are merely driving a vehicle, and you have instincts. You can take a step back, and with time and effort, you can do what you actually want to do. It just takes some time figuring it out. And I'm not saying that I'm not promoting any kind of cultish spirituality or religion, or like, oh, we can all be happy. I'm merely just sharing a voice in a sea of misinformation, and just, I don't even know what to describe it anymore, but if there was someone like myself, I would want to tell them this. It would be my duty. It's hard to explain why, other than personal biases and ego or whatever. I just know that I would feel like I would have to tell them this. Just do what you can and realise that you don't have to take part in any of this. You're not losing things that you think you are. The mortgage, the wife, all that. I have a beautiful partner who understands me for who I am, and I did that. So can someone else, as long as they find someone, as long as they take good care of themselves and they're open to realising that because of them being this way, it's very likely you have a traumatised childhood. And so obviously you need to do some work, but you will get there. You can have a comfortable but fulfilling life, but it does not need to be the mould that's been given to you. It can be totally customised within reason to who you are. So be brave, be who you are unapologetically,